Hello, everybody. The new update just dropped for adding a bunch of new customs pets into the game, along with a second mini pack. And with it, I was immediately drawn to one unit in particular, not because it's absurdly strong or anything like that, but just because it's a silly little guy, and sometimes, that's all it is. His name is the Luska. It's like a big octopus looking creature. And his ability reads, when he faints, he spends all of his mana to reduce a random enemy's stats by 1/1, and then it upgrades to be 2 or 3 random enemies. And, unfortunately, as cool and silly as the guy is, the ability is just not good. The problem is that it doesn't, like other pets, unlike other pets, it doesn't skip over, it doesn't skip over if you have, like, say, a pet that already got reduced to 1/1 and it can't be reduced any further. Sometimes the Luska will still target that. Which kind of became a problem in the build that I made for him. But this run still ended up working out decently. So what are we gonna try and do? Well, there are very few ways in the game actually to get mana onto something, like to get a substantial amount of mana onto something, and also, kind of have that happen like when it gets resummoned by something like a mushroom. In fact, I think there's only one. Really, I guess there's Kitsune, but that's some big brain stuff. That might be something there, but it'd probably just end up being a worse version of what I came up with. Anyway, this build is going to use amalgamation. That one. Where it will give you attack, mana, and the spooked ailment. Which is, like, incredibly strong, because for most summons, the spooked ailment is completely irrelevant. And, you know, 4 attack and 4 mana is, like, almost a snake. It turns things into a snake. That's a really good analogy. Pack 1 Brain Rot, truly incoming here. But look, the point is, typical Seagull Mushroom strats. Seagull Mushroom does a bunch of wacky things. We keep resummoning the Luska, and then the Amalgamation will keep giving it mana, and then it'll keep dying and reducing stats. Okay, sounds cool. Sounds great. The problem is, because of the upgrades, it does not reduce the stats by all that much, to be honest with you. And in fact, you also cannot use the mana to, like, deal damage, for instance. Which is somewhat of an issue. Because it does simply just mean that this build is a lot worse. Even with, like, a level 3 amalgamation, you end up reducing 12/12 on an enemy. Which, is granted, also partially assumes, like, you have level 1 Luska, but... I mean, getting the levels on everything will take quite a few runs to get. Anyway, I take Starfish here. With the change to Elk, I, like, still have it in the pack, and I still have those kind of lines, but I've been using it quite a bit less. As this Great One kills our ants and gives us a bunch of stats. Thank you, Great One. I've been using it a lot less because you can't like whale it anymore. You can't, like, power it, copy it, and things like that. So I've taken Starfish, and I've kind of started doing more things with, like, Guinea Pig and Starfish lines, just so that there's an alternate way to have kind of a big pivot. And I think it made me think that I was underrating Starfish in customs. I knew that it was strong in Pack 3, but I didn't know how good it was in Customs, really. Anyway, the whole board is dead. Notice how much stronger we are before we start doing anything with Luska. It's such a tragedy, man. The silly guy deserves better than this. To be honest with you. Find level on Sea Lion so that we can buy Sleipnir and get attack on it from the amalgamation. It's all planned out. We sell. We get 6/6 on 3 units that we're going to keep because Sea Lion is going to be our scaler. And I even just sell the starfish to get chocolate this time because I mean I'm plenty ahead in lives. I'm gonna start doing stuff, and then I can also combine the amalgamations so that I don't lose triggers on them. If I want to maybe get one on the Luska when I buy it. Okay, incredible. We have mana. We're doing mana shenanigans. I buy this cow. Just get more stats on Sleipnir. Sleipnir is the best way to like get a bunch of initial mana on the Luska, which you kind of honestly need for this build to work, which is a bit upsetting. But here we are. We get a bunch of attack on the seagull, and we can reset the triggers on amalgamation if we find something, but here we don't. I decided it's just better to chocolate the seagull. Because I want my food, my food slots open for more chocolate and things. Pretty bad hits into the camel. Oh no, we're losing. But like at this point we already have 6 wins and we still don't even have our Luska yet. It really says something about society, the fact that my best attempt was one where I got the Luska really late and just kind of already had a lot of stats on things. But from what I've seen, there are some other units that came from this update that are a lot more powerful that I want to also make videos out of. There goes my amalgamation. Rest in peace. The ostrich gets to 1/1 stats. That's certainly something. Here we go. That was my sister. She's been making cookies. And how can I say no to one of those? Anyway, this also goes to 1/1. Alibi Honors is trying some shenanigans with Fringe Head plus a unit that like summons the Golden Retriever immediately. Which is it's kinda sick. If the entirety of the arena pool was just people running builds to get to 50 trumpets, that would be the best counter of all time. But it's like just too niche of a thing to try and counter, I think. Anyway, this is kind of the setup we have. We have Seagull Mushroom, we have Luska coming back repeatedly, getting mana from amalgamation, doing all of the normal things. This reindeer goes down to a 4/3. We give it a mushroom. Importantly, the amalgamation has to have higher attack than the seagull, because if it doesn't, then the seagull will give mushroom, and then this will replace it with spooked. We can't have that. Anyway, Luska goes again. We get rid of some stats. Have a 1/1 rooster. Reduce more stats, and you see it hits the rooster again, which is kind of a lot of the problem with this build. But okay, good news. Our seagull survives because the chicks only have 1 attack, and we get to draw. Incredible. So at this point, I am kind of just buying things. I try and level up the amalgamation because more mana on Lusca is like the entire point of this build. And I find the chocolate very quickly. I don't particularly need level 2 Sleipnir, but it doesn't hurt just to make us a bit more powerful to actually try and win the run. What the hell does this pet even do? I have no idea. We're dropping stats and the Velociraptor's bringing them back. There's a level 3 skunk somewhere in there. Everything's a 1-1 now. Incredible. It's level 3. Unlock the Sleipnir for now. And I've found the chocolate, so I know that we're going for at least 2 more rounds. I just go for it, so I have level 2 Sleipnir. And then from that point, you kind of just spam foods. This is a kind of cool battle. So we have like a Queen Bee German Shepherd. And we remove some stats. You become a 1-1. Take a mushroom. We reduce the German Shepherd down to 5, which means it's giving like no attack to anything anymore. That's kind of cool. The Queen Bee. Yeah, just giving 1 attack, you're a 1-1 German Shepherd. How does that make you feel? Skip ahead a bit because there's just a bunch of summons. And we win. Incredible. Lusca actually doing something. Just ignore the fact that Sea Serpent could have done its job, but like significantly better. Don't worry about that. We buy pizza, we buy chicken leg on Sleipnir, more mana. Always good. And as Flame would say, this is the final... What does he say? This is the final turn? Or this is the final battle? Or something? Level 3 Spinosaurus, level 3 Sabertooth Mushroom. Scary summon things, but we reduce this Brain Cramp down to 5-1. Spino becomes a 1-1, it's a Nudibranch thing. Yep, it's gained stats, and it's lost them again right away. We trade perfectly as a result of the final resummon. Summoning a bunch of mammoths. We trade. You don't quite kill. This hits the bad hit because it gets resummoned. Mammoth dies, but then this doesn't actually give stats, and we win by 3 HP. Incredible stuff. As bad as I think this ability is, I just love how silly this guy looks, and I will never not appreciate how silly this guy looks. And you know, sometimes that's what it's all about, and you can really get into the mindset of the people that play this game to buy the cute pets and not actually read what they do. Because I mean, look at this guy. How could you not? Anyway, that's about it. Have a wonderful day.